Yavapai Broadcasting and the City of Cottonwood proudly present Inside Cottonwood, an inside look at the decisions and issues of the City of Cottonwood. Brought to you by Arizona Smile Designers.
Good day and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood, and I'm your host today. I wanted to welcome you in the context of what we're doing here with the City of Cottonwood and the Cottonwood Recreation Center, and what's upcoming as we enter into this this time of the year. Definitely the holidays, and they're upon us. I had a lot of fudge that was brought in today into my office area, and let me tell you, it gets really hard, especially with fudge, because my mom, she made it all the time, and it's one of those where you have to really kind of press it back and ask everybody else if they would like some fudge, and maybe it'll all go away. But we're here to talk a little bit about fitness, health, and lifestyle, and the Looking Good Cottonwood program here at the Cottonwood Recreation Center, which is in January and goes through the first week of April. I'm honored today and extremely pleased to have with us Dr. Brad Williams, and Dr. Williams is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. And he's with us. He's a local MD and PhD. He's a staff orthopedist with the Verde Valley Orthopedic Associates, a service of Verde Valley Medical Center. So I'd like to welcome you, Dr. Williams. Thank you very much for being here with us today. And we also have Trevor Faust with the City of Cottonwood. Trevor is the fitness floor supervisor for the City of Cottonwood at the Cottonwood Recreation Center. It's good to have you back. It's been about I think it's been about 8 months since you've been here, and this is kind of the time of year we actually look at a lot of things, and especially January 1st. A lot of people usually go through something where they try to make some lifestyle changes. And you know, it's always those New Year's resolutions that get us, and a lot of times we just break them. And I think that that's one of the things we want to talk about, because again, we're right here before the holidays. And Dr. Williams, I know that you know, as we talk today about health and fitness and lifestyle, I think I'll insert a change in that statement, a lifestyle change. Sure. You know, because a lot of us do that. I know that I, for one, have actually focused on and witnessed, you know, lifestyle changes when we eat right, when we focus on fitness and things of that nature, what can actually happen with us. And let me just ask you this question. When did you first decide to become interested in health and fitness?
I first got interested when I was in California. Years ago, I grew up near the beach, and we would ride our bikes to the beach and played beach volleyball all the time, and got into a little bit of bodybuilding and nutrition. And initially, I found out that the bodybuilding was not as healthy. There's a lot of other things in there, but I still stuck with the diet because I felt so good. Right. And got into biking and road racing and things like that.
That's really, that's really kind of a unique perspective. Now, you were pretty young at that time then. Right. And now, you'd indicated before we actually started our production here that you actually kind of fell away from it for a while. Right. And you came back.
I'd say I fell away from the intensity, the actual very high intensity type workouts. My wife could have qualified for the Olympic trials, things like that, and we're actually going to a world championship duathlon in our age groups, and so we wanted to push it to that level, to the extreme level. And what got us to that was we actually saw a now infamous Lance Armstrong. He was doing a local triathlon, and boy, when you just saw how fit he was, and we were just, that was the extreme example, and how, right. And we remembered how good we felt when we were that fit. And we were always told, well, you look good, you know, you're doing okay. And we just still felt kind of sluggish and weren't quite there. And my wife and I just play off each other and just push it, and it feels good.
So you have a healthy competition in your relationship then, too.
Yeah. We encourage each other.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. For sure. I can't beat her in a lot of things, that's for sure. She's very fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's really neat. Yeah. Now, as a doctor, how long have you been in our community now?
8 years now.
8 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, it doesn't seem that long.
No, it's gone by so fast. It really has.
And I know that I think on a personal perspective here, you worked on my wife's knee, which was great. So and she's doing well with that knee. It's always wonderful to see doctors in our community who are interested in people. And I guess just as a sideline also, what is your passion? I mean, you have a passion with health and fitness. That's got to be, because I've known you for a long time, you go to the recreation center a lot.
Right, right.
And so what is your passion, if you can explain that?
Yeah, my passion has been just that it makes you feel so much better. You mentioned a lifestyle change.
Yes.
And I don't like the terms diet, and I think lifestyle change is the way to put it. And that is my passion, to just help people. There are so many people that are, I get a lot of obese patients, and they have arthritis and things, and I really, really try to help them because there's so many problems that are associated with being overweight, and including depression and things like that. And so my passion is really kind of spreading the knowledge and the feel. This is the way it makes you feel so much better. Your whole attitude, you're sleeping better, you're having better relationships. It affects everything. It really does.
It does. I can appreciate that personally, but it really is. It's good to have doctors in our community. I know I think it's been a while back, we were talking to Dr. Buttman and having him on the show. And when we have people here from the medical community, especially doctors who blend in, work in well with the public in, both fitness, getting out and actually running, doing things, cycling, doing things that are actually active participation in the community. People see that, and I think that that's really a positive plus within our community, because many doctors are looked upon as, hey, they're very knowledgeable, and I'm looking at your background here. You've got an incredible, expansive expertise and special interests, and your background is just incredible. But it's one of those where people look up to that. And you really are role models in many senses of the word. And so I think that it's really wonderful to see that in our small community. So again, thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here as a part of Cottonwood. So I'm going to skip over to Trevor real quick, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit more of Looking Good Cottonwood. And Trevor, what is Looking Good Cottonwood? What exactly is this program? Explain it to our viewers.
This program is really designed to connect to people on a personal level in a way that we can help you establish healthy lifestyle changes. It's really more not so much of a competition, but we really want to refocus that competition aspect. Competition is great, but we really want to bring it back and focus on the health and what exercise does for you. It's just really that's what Looking Good Cottonwood's about, is that.
So it's a change, and it's trying to get people used to and understanding that change and how they focus themselves and refocus themselves, so into that lifestyle change. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So do you enjoy this part of the job then?
I do. Yeah. Okay. It's.
You work close with people.
It's fun to, and inspiring even, to see people change their lives, and just like fitness changed my life. I mean, it's because I can connect to people on that level, because it's, once you start seeing results, once you start feeling better, and you can attest to this, once your outlook on life changes.
Yeah.
It's very.
It really does.
Exciting.
Yeah, I think that that's very true. Just explain to us before we go into break time. Now, when does the program start, Looking Good Cottonwood program start, and when can they start signing up?
The program starts January 8th, and registration started December 2nd and will end January 3rd. And we'll continue to accept registration. There's just a $5 additional late fee to that registration.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. So at this busy time of the year, before we take a break here, try to get in, especially if you feel like you want to be a part of this, to change, possibly your focus and change for the good. the better feelings in life that you can have by fitness and health and eating right. All of those things are brought into the aspect of Looking Good Cottonwood. So if you can, in your busy schedule, come on over to the Cottonwood Recreation Center at 150 South 6th Street and sign up. We're going to take a break here. Thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll see you in just a minute. Welcome back. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood, and with you for Inside Cottonwood. We're very pleased as our guests today are Dr. Bradley Williams with the Verde Valley Medical Center, and also with as a staff orthopedist with Verde Valley Orthopedic Associates, and then also Trevor Faust, who is the fitness floor supervisor for the Cottonwood Recreation Center in the City of Cottonwood. We're discussing Looking Good Cottonwood. We're also discussing fitness and health as a lifestyle change. And so we'd like to get everybody focused and participating together a lot of this because it's good information. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with Trevor for a little bit here and discuss Looking Good Cottonwood. How many years has this program been in existence?
This will be the 4th year.
The 4th year?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many participants do we normally average? Do you?
We average around 250 participants. Yeah.
Yeah. No, do we have that? Those are they can do groups also.
Yeah.
And
yes, we do.
I'll get you going into that here in just a minute. So I think that what are your goals for this year in Looking Good Cottonwood?
You know, my overall goals really are to help be a support, to inspire others to their own goals. A lot of times people find that it's impossible to achieve something, and really getting them to change their mindset and believe in themselves that they can change and that it is possible to create a healthier, happier lifestyle. In general, I just really want to help people establish healthy behaviors and for lifelong fitness and happiness, really.
I think you know, when we look at a lot of things in our lifestyle change is longevity, you know, and what is quality of life to individuals as they get older. I'm getting older. I'm approaching 60, and you know, I think that when you do that, you automatically go, well, you know, I'd like to have another, you know, 20, 30 years, and you know, and so you really do. You get frustrated. And I think people become frustrated, and they're on the same merry-go-round. And I think a lot of times I can attest personally that when you get on that, it's hard to get off of the same thing. And so we need to have a coach, kind of, and we need to have a support person and a support mentality. That's why I think a lot of times with a group and a group mentality, it's one of those things for support purposes. Your doctor is also an incredibly good support. I know my personal physician is one of those people, and you know, I think that family is especially this time of year also is a good support. So as we look at the program officially will kick off January 8th. Is that correct? Okay. And so again, now you know, Dr. Williams was asking. Now, even if people are late, we help them try to get into the program, and so that's definitely something we do. And so we will help you get into the program, even if it is after this time frame. But again, it's one of those where we'd like to get your participation right off the bat as much as possible. So if you're going to make New Year's resolutions, this is probably one of those that's a good one. So you might as well start and come on down to the rec center. So how much are registration fees to enter the program?
They're $15 for members and $30 for non-members.
Oh, so that's not too bad.
No.
That's actually very good, especially for lifestyle change. So what do participants receive with their registration fee?
Well, we do a lot of things. We do weekly prizes. They get a LGC logo T-shirt with our sponsors, and then they get 2 group exercise classes a week. They there's health and wellness seminars, weekly weigh-ins. We also provide a 10% discount at the rec center for 3 months and above.
That's great.
We're doing a walking running clinic with Mike Allen from the Verde Valley Running Association, and he's going to go over running proper techniques, and then even help people train for the Brian Mickelson Memorial Race. And a lot more. We got a lot more. So.
And we'll probably be bringing you back then also for the Brian Mickelson Memorial sometime in I'd say late March maybe, and we'll be talking about that also as to a lot of people as to how they maneuver through and actually progress from one division to the next, which is really exciting. So we'll get into that too in the future here. So what day and time are the seminars held?
The seminars are held on Tuesdays, and every other Tuesday at from 5:30 to 6:30 in the Cottonwood room.
And who are allowed to attend those seminars?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone is allowed. It's we really want to increase the community's wellness and overall participation.
Okay. So if they don't even sign up, they can actually come in and they can just listen to some of the program providers and the information as they speak then.
They sure can.
Cool, that's great. All right. So Trevor, explain what is Q&A with Trevor Faust? That's something new, isn't it?
It is new. I wanted to give some more face time to the participants. A lot of participants have questions, as you know, with health and fitness specifically, and you know, we want to go into just probably different topics of health and fitness, and answering questions like different type, like, you know, is running good for you, or you know, is it what, or should I not do this high impact exercise versus this, or you know, maybe busting some myths about the fitness industry, maybe go into detail about how they can set goals, you know, just be a support. The time for the Q&A is it's just a way for people to express their concerns, just any questions.
So they
that
can
may
actually
have.
talk and say, I've got these concerns or whatever, so they can express them right to you. And so there's just this exchange back and forth then.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's really helpful. All right. When is the initial weigh-in?
January 8th, Wednesday, January 8th.
So it is Wednesday, January 8th. And so this is a 3-month-long program.
It is.
And a lot of people go, wow, that's a long time. Well, you know what? Again, it's set to be that long in order to try to get you into the healthy mindset. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the healthy lifestyle. All right. So the contest ends April
9th.
9th. Okay.
Wednesday, April 9th.
All right. And then you're free to continue on your way and make that change. Is there category the categories? Are there also categories in prize money awarded?
Yes, we have a $1,000 grand prize that will be awarded to the men's category, and we have a women's category, and then we have the group category.
So there's $1,000 for the men's category, $1,000 for women's category, and how much for the group category?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay, and we'd like to thank the Verde Valley Medical Center for, you know, definitely participating and cooperating and co-sponsoring with us, because it's very valuable, and a lot of this comes directly from them.
Yeah,
and so they're a big support. But so many of our programs with the Verde Valley Medical Center participating, collaborating with us, shows their interest in a healthy community, which is really vital to a community, is to have all of those physicians and nurses and practitioners, everybody behind the community as a focus group to make this a challenge and make your lifestyle better. As we you know, can you tell us a little bit more about Verde Valley Medical Center and how they are involved?
Well, they're, first of all, our primary sponsor for our program, and you know, we just really want to have a big thank you go out towards Verde Valley Medical Center for their support to the community. Really, the Verde Valley Medical is involved in they provide most of our presentations for our seminars,
Yes.
and then of course their seed money that they donate to the program.
Right, and so Dr. Brad Williams will be one of those people who will be speaking too.
Sure will.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break here at this point in time, and thank you for joining us for Inside Cottonwood today here right before the holidays, and we'll see you in just a minute. Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. And again, we have Dr. Brad Williams with us today from the Verde Valley Medical Center, Verde Valley Orthopedic Associates, as well as Trevor Faust, the Fitness Floor Supervisor for the Cottonwood Recreation Center. Again, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today on Inside Cottonwood. Dr. Williams, this will be your time here. We're going to spend a little bit here with you. Why is supporting programs like the Looking Good Cottonwood program so important to you and to VVMC?
I think it's very important because it truly can change people's lives, and we strongly support a healthier lifestyle, a healthier outlook on life, and basically a healthier community. The more people that are out there and having a good time, the more positive the whole community becomes.
Right. It's and it is a joint effort, I think, overall. If communities, you know, they always say that it takes a village to raise, you know, kids, but you know what? In reality, it also takes a group of people as a community to join together and make it I think a successful community health-wise, and that's a big thing. It's a big point in servicing people and community together. So, Dr. Williams, you've been involved in past years. What capacity has that been? In other words, you know, with Looking Good Cottonwood, I know, again, you've been a Recreation Center member, I think, from the very beginning. Sure. And which we thank you for. And again, you've been great support for us. But so to what capacity have you been involved in Looking Good Cottonwood program?
I've been involved in the seminars,
okay,
primarily, and addressing questions and trying to set the example. Really, my wife and I try to set the example in our kids in that respect. And I'm always helpful at the rec center. People come up to me all the time, of course.
I'm sure they bother you too. I mean, it really is. You're trying to get your workout done, and then you've got people saying, you know, as a bone and joint specialist and orthopedic surgeon and stuff like that, you know, I've got this problem.
It's pretty common. It's okay though. I like it.
That's great. That's good. I know my brother's a physician down in Scottsdale area, and you know he'll go work out at facilities or whatever, and people see him and they know him, so they'll go in and tag right along next to him and talk to him a bit. And he doesn't mind either. So
no, it's fine.
But it's just kind of one of those things. So now, I think on a personal note, how much time do you spend at the Recreation Center?
About 2 to 3 days a week.
That's great.
And the rest of the time on my bike, and more time in the winter. I'd say a lot more time now, working out.
Okay. Yeah. And so as a doctor, so you exercise then pretty good, you know, throughout the week then. You're saying 2 to 3 times at the rec center, and then you're on your bike.
Right.
And so how often do you exercise?
Every day.
Every day.
Just about every day.
Now, is that something that we should all take a look at and say, you know, 20, 30 minutes a day that we should all be working at, trying to get to that point level? I
think so. It's just a matter of making time for it. And it really is hard to find time. You know, of course, I work ridiculous hours, and sometimes I'll work out at 9:30 at night on my exercise bike on a trainer. Sometimes we'll just do a bunch of push-ups and things, or just something.
Right.
And it's just very important to keep that going. And it's easier for me at this stage because you actually do get addicted, you get used to it, and it's something that becomes just a part of your life, and it's a necessity.
Okay.
And that's an easy thing for me. It's harder for people to get started.
Right.
That's the hard part.
I think that's the kicker, and that's why looking at Cottonwood, that's what our focus is, try to get you started. And like you said, you get addicted. You know, and I think that's the key thing there is, you know, our bodies, I think in reality, they react at first, and then as you start to progress in your workouts, your time, you know, the success of the time period that you put in, your body is going to then all of a sudden say it's demanding more, and then all of a sudden we're going, wow, this healthy experience now has now become my lifestyle. It's been a year later, and we're sitting, and that's a good thing. That's what we want to see. It's exciting, you know, you know, for people. And you as a doctor, I think, you know, sure, you see some of the downside, but I think there's also those things where people come back, especially in sports medicine. Right. And you see it a lot where they've come back and they've all of a sudden changed, and they're making those changes. And I think it's a great thing to see that. And I guess that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about is you know, you said, how do you balance, you know, things with your intensity? Because I mean, you have family, you're a doctor. I know what that's like with my brother. You just have very little time. And so how do you find time to balance work, family, and exercise?
It's very difficult. Yeah. But you have to make it a priority.
There you go, the priority.
One of the ways is to do it first thing in the morning before things get going sometimes. Sometimes it's a family event. We'll go for a nice hike. You know, I don't necessarily consider that as a high-intensity exercise like I would do, but it's still very good exercise. We live in a beautiful area. Yeah. You know, just get outside, I think. Even on days like this, it's just, you know, when it's a little rain or whatever, just staying active. And it's just making the time and having really, I got to thank my wife for really understanding. You know, thank God she's an athlete. She understands, and, you know, maybe I haven't been around for a day or two and I'm going to go for a 4-hour bike ride. You know, most wives would say, you're crazy, you're not going anywhere. You know? But it helps to have the family support, you know, and the kids say, Daddy's going on a bike ride. And then, you know, we take them on bike rides now. We're getting them mountain bikes, and we got little trails we're riding on, and they just love it. So it's a family affair. Yeah,
those are great tips, you know, to keep active. And I think that's the thing too is, how do you stay motivated and consistent? You know, you're talking about your wife, and again, we've talked about you know, partnering, you know, with your wife or your husband, and you know, support. There's a lot of support out there, but I know that it's hard to become motivated and become consistent, and so those are some of the areas there that, you know, how do you do that?
Well, again, for me, I think it's easier for people just starting out. It's really difficult because when you first start out, you're just getting sore all the time. It hurts. You're sweating just doing the basic things. The food doesn't taste, you're not eating what you want to eat. Right. And it's just not fun. But if you stick to it, you get the rewards. And for me, I was just kind of doing it in the routine, and I just took it to another level. So it's a little different than being morbidly obese and giving up 5-10 times on diet and exercise and not having the help. And I think something like this is just fantastic because you're going to have support from other people going through the same thing, and people talked about nutrition, and we have seminars and stuff. It's just, it's a great chance. I'm just excited. I've got people and patients in mind that I want to tell them, I want to get them into this and get them going.
Yeah, I think that's great, again. And so tell us a little bit now, how does improving body composition through fat loss improve health and wellness? I know you're talking about obesity and some of the problems associated with that.
Sure.
So how does that loss improve your health and wellness?
Well, that's going to be one of my seminars, actually. That's I'm going to spend pretty much, not a whole hour, probably about 30 minutes, so you guys don't have to stay for an entire hour. But, we'll spend a lot of time, and most of the time for question and answers. But there's something called Metabolic Syndrome, and where just the fat in your body will change your whole outlook, the way your brain functions, change the way your organs function. You don't recover as well. It's, you know, there's sleep apnea that comes with that. So you're tired all the time, and there's multiple issues. Of course, there's the obvious. People are more susceptible to heart attack, and there was a new study that said there is no fit obese person. There's no such thing. You can't be fit and obese, and they're, it's kind of obvious.
Right.
You think it's obvious, but they're finally doing the studies and and showing that it's really not healthy to be obese, no matter what.
I agree. I think I'll come to your discussion there at that point in time, 30 to 45 minutes, whatever. That'll be a great one. So thank you. So how does one establish a healthy lifestyle? What approach do you take?
Yeah. At first, I try to get on a more personal level with them and find out what their problems are, what their triggers are. Talk to them about the more common issues, such as binge eating or eating for emotional reasons. So trying to just get in there, like what makes them tick, what is the real issue here, and get to it. And I don't really have as much experience with the emotional and psychological aspects, and that's where I really lack knowledge. And just by talking to people, I'm learning more and more about that. But I think that's such an important part of it. But I think it just needs to be more individualized, and just tell people there is hope. You can do it, and don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's good advice. My last question to you is: can one out-train a bad diet, or is nutrition vital to one's success?
Nutrition is definitely vital to one's success. You were telling me earlier how you just changed your diet, and you've always been very healthy and eating a healthful diet. But there's some real good examples in the community that I know of, and one of them that comes to mind is a colleague, I'll say, of mine has a son that had some issues, and they completely changed his diet. They tried all these drugs and everything else, and finally they took all these preservatives and dyes and everything out of their diet. Doing great in school. It's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And you think it's just hearsay and it doesn't happen, but to actually see it, it's really amazing. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of things that we're not aware of. The FDA is now just pulling out trans fats. It's going to be illegal. And eventually I think they're going to pull out all these things that were bad for us, but we can make those decisions now if we're aware of them. I
agree. I think that what we've been discussing here is very vital in our community. Mm-hmm. And as to our direction, Looking Good Cottonwood can definitely help. Mm-hmm. And it can help you to sustain your lifestyle, and as well as quality of life, and that's one of the things that we're definitely here for. So I wanted to thank you, Dr. Williams, for being here with us today. Thank you, Trevor, very much. Thank you for your incredible information, because it was a broad spectrum. It was very quick today, but again, it was very informative. And you guys have really helped, I think, an awful lot with people out there. So thank you for joining us here for the Looking Good Cottonwood program as we've put this before you. Thank you for coming to Inside Cottonwood once again as we close down here, and we'll join you again next month. I'm Richard Faust, your host today for Looking Good, or for Inside Cottonwood and the Looking Good program. Enjoy your day.